My son-in-law kicked the leg of my chair and gave me a choice. Either I put on an apron and serve him his coffee like the help, or I pack my bags and get out of his house. My daughter Dorothy, the girl I raised with my own two hands, stood there and watched. She didn't defend me. She told me I was being difficult. She told me I should be grateful for the roof over my head, so I didn't argue, I didn't scream. I simply smiled, walked to my room, and grabbed the suitcase I had packed 3 days ago. They thought they were kicking out a broke retired mechanic who had nowhere to go. They had no idea they were evicting the landlord. Let me tell you how I brought their fake empire crumbling down. My name is Victor Hoffman. I'm 62 years old, and I've been carrying this story around for months now. You know how sometimes you go through something so unbelievable that you have to tell somebody? Well, this is one of those stories. It was a Tuesday morning in Atlanta. The sun was barely coming through the kitchen blinds, and I was sitting at their granite island eating my usual bowl of plain oatmeal. Simple breakfast, you know? Just me, my oatmeal, and the only 15 minutes of peace I got in that house anymore. See, to my daughter and her husband, I'm just this old guy taking up space. A retired auto mechanic with grease stains under his fingernails and a tiny pension that barely covers my heart medication. They look at my calloused hands and figure I'm washed up. What they don't know, what nobody knows, is that these same hands built Hoffman Enterprises from nothing. These hands signed the deed to that new shopping center downtown just last week. They see a burden, I see a test, and that morning they were about to fail it big time. Everything was quiet until Brian walked in. That's my son-in-law, minus 35 years old, thinks he's God's gift to sales management. He never says good morning, never has. Just walks around in this silk bathrobe that probably costs more than my first truck, smelling like expensive cologne and attitude. He walks past me, stops right there, and kicks the leg of my stool. Not an accident, a deliberate sharp kick meant to get my attention. "Hey, Victor," he says, voice all heavy with sleep and that tone, you know the one, like he's talking to hired help. The cleaning lady called in sick again, probably another one of those lazy types. I need a double espresso, and don't burn it this time like you did yesterday. I kept eating my oatmeal, didn't even look up. For 18 months now, I've been living in their guest room. For 18 months, I've been paying their mortgage through a shell company called Peachtree Holdings. They have no clue it's me. For 18 months, I've watched this guy strut around my house like he owns the place, when really he's just a court jester living off my money. "I'm eating breakfast, Brian," I said, keeping my voice calm. Real calm. The coffee machine's right there. You've got two hands. You should have seen his face. Brian's not used to hearing the word no. He's a senior sales manager at some mid-sized company downtown, and he wears that title like it makes him royalty. People at work probably jump when he snaps his fingers, but he wasn't ready for an old man in a flannel shirt to tell him to make his own coffee. He steps closer, trying to intimidate me, gets right in my space, looming over me like some kind of tough guy. "Excuse me?" He laughs, but there's no humor in it. "I think you're confused about how this works, Victor. You live here for free. You eat my food. You use my electricity. You take up space in my house. The absolute least you can do is make yourself useful. Now get up and make the damn coffee." I turned around on that stool and looked him straight in the eye. You know what I saw? Red veins from too much wine the night before, fear hiding behind all that aggression. He needed to feel big, so he was trying to make me feel small. "No," I said, just like that. One word. Brian's face went bright red. I mean, he looked like he was about to have a stroke. He swipes his hand across the counter, and bam, sends my bowl of oatmeal flying. The thing crashes against the white tile floor, hot oatmeal splattering everywhere, ceramic pieces bouncing around like shrapnel. "Look what you made me do." He's shouting now, pointing at the mess with his shaking finger. "Look at this, you're clumsy and you're useless. Clean it up. Clean it up right now." I didn't move. Just stood up real slow, brushing a glob of oatmeal off my knee. My heart was beating steady like a clock. This was it. This was the moment I'd been waiting for. I'd given them every chance, waited 18 months for just one spark of gratitude, one moment where they'd treat me like family instead of like some charity case. But there was nothing there. Nothing but selfishness and rot. "What's going on down here?" Dorothy's voice came from the stairs. My daughter, 32 years old, standing there in her silk pajamas, looking from the broken bowl to Brian's red face to me. I waited. You know what I was waiting for? For her to ask if I was hurt. For her to tell her husband he couldn't treat her father like a dog. For the little girl I used to carry on my shoulders to finally show up and defend her old man. Instead, she sighed. Long, tired sigh that told me everything I needed to know. "Dad, seriously," she said, walking over to stand next to Brian. "It's 7 in the morning. Why do you have to provoke him?" "Provoke him?" I looked at my daughter, stunned. "Provoke him, Dorothy." He threw my breakfast on the floor. "Brian has a huge presentation today." She snapped back, cutting me off like I was some stranger interrupting their conversation. He's under a lot of pressure. He's carrying the weight of this family on his back. He asked for a simple cup of coffee. Is that really too much to ask after everything we do for you? Everything they do for me. I just stood there for a second, letting those words sink in. Yes, Brian jumped in, getting all bold now that Dorothy was backing him up. We took you in after Mom died. We gave you a room and you sit there like some kind of king, contributing absolutely nothing. Well, I'm done. I'm finished being your charity. He pointed at the back door, his fingers shaking with rage. I'm giving you an ultimatum, old man, right here, right now. You either get down on your hands and knees, clean up this mess, and learn to serve this family with some respect, or you pack your bags and get out today. I looked at Dorothy, really looked at her. She didn't look away, didn't flinch, just crossed her arms and stared at me with these cold, hard eyes I'd never seen before. Maybe he's right, Dad, she said, voice flat as cardboard. Maybe this isn't working anymore. You're too set in your ways. You're stubborn. If you can't help out, if you can't support Brian when he's stressed, then maybe you should find somewhere else to go. The air in that kitchen felt thin, like all the oxygen had been sucked out. I looked down at the broken ceramic pieces scattered across their white tile floor. And you know what I thought about? I thought about working 3 jobs when Dorothy needed braces. Sleeping in my pickup truck behind the auto shop so I could save every penny for her college tuition. I thought about Ruth, my wife, making me promise on her deathbed that I'd always take care of our little girl. Well, I had taken care of her. I'd bought this house through a trust fund so she'd never worry about rent. I'd been secretly covering Brian's car payments for months so she wouldn't stress about their debt. I'd been their invisible safety net for 18 months, and now they were cutting the rope. I smiled. Not a happy smile, the kind of smile you get when you finally finish a really long, really hard job. You're absolutely right, I said, voice calm as Sunday morning. This arrangement isn't working. I stepped right over that oatmeal mess, didn't look down, didn't acknowledge it. Walked past Brian, who was standing there breathing hard like he'd just run a marathon, waiting for some kind of fight I wasn't going to give him. Walked past Dorothy, who suddenly couldn't meet my eyes now that she'd made her choice. Where do you think you're going? Brian barked behind me. I told you to clean that up. I ignored him, went straight to my room and opened the closet. Right there in front, just like I'd left it 3 days ago, was my old leather suitcase, already packed. See, I'd packed that bag Sunday night when Brian made some joke at dinner about finding a nice home for me. Said it loud enough for the neighbors to hear through the open window. I knew then that this was coming. I just needed them to pull the trigger. I grabbed the handle, heavy and solid, just like I remembered. Took one last look around that guest room, bed made, surfaces clean, nothing left behind. Then I walked back out to the living room. They were still in the kitchen arguing about who was going to call the cleaning service. Didn't even hear me walk to the front door. I opened that heavy oak door and stepped outside. Morning air was crisp, had that clean smell you get after rain. I walked down their driveway, suitcase wheels clicking on the pavement like a countdown timer. I didn't look back at the house. Beautiful house, really. I should know I wrote the check for it. When I got to the end of the driveway, I pulled out my phone. There was already a text from Dorothy. Don't come back until you're ready to apologize. I actually laughed out loud, deleted that message and speed dialed a number I knew by heart. Mr. Murphy, I said when he picked up. Yes, Mr. Hoffman, Lawrence Murphy answered. He's been my lawyer for 20 years. Good man. Time for phase 1, I told him. Cut them off. Cancel all the cards. Revoke the housing trust. Send the car around. I'm done playing poor. A black Lincoln Town car turned the corner right on schedule. Gary stepped out. He's been my driver since before Dorothy was born. Opened the back door like we'd practiced this 100 times. Good morning, Mr. Hoffman, he said. Where to today, sir? The Four Seasons downtown, I said, settling into that leather seat I'd missed. Then we're going to the office. We've got some serious adjustments to make. As we drove away, I watched their house get smaller in the side mirror, felt a little sad about losing my daughter, sure. But mostly I felt this cold, clear feeling. Like when you finally understand a problem you've been working on for months. They wanted independence. They wanted me gone. Well, I was about to give them exactly what they asked for. And God helped them when they figured out what that actually meant. You see, for 18 months I'd been watching Brian and Dorothy live like millionaires on what they thought was my tiny pension. They never asked where the money came from when their mortgage got paid every month. Never wondered how Brian could afford that BMW lease on a sales manager's salary. Never questioned why their credit cards never seemed to have limits. They just lived and spent and enjoyed, thinking they were doing me some kind of favor by letting the poor old man sleep in their spare room. Brian had no idea that his high-end lifestyle was built on a foundation of sand, and I was about to pull the rug out from under him so hard he'd get whiplash. 1 week went by, 7 whole days of silence from my end. And let me tell you, it was like watching a train wreck in slow motion through my laptop screen. I was sitting in my suite at the Four Seasons penthouse level, city view, the works. Had my laptop open tracking every transaction on their accounts. See, I've got access to everything through the holding companies I set up years ago. Every swipe of their credit cards, every automatic payment, every online purchase, it all went through systems I controlled. And boy, were they living it up that first week. Brian and Dorothy were celebrating their freedom from the grumpy old man. Expensive dinners, shopping sprees, spa treatments. They were burning through money like it was going out of style, thinking they'd finally gotten rid of their burden. But that Tuesday night, exactly. 1 week after I walked out, Brian had set up dinner at the Capitol Grill downtown. You know the place, steakhouse where everything costs twice what it should. He was meeting with Calvin Reed, some big shot client he'd been chasing for months. Brian needed this deal bad. His sales numbers had been tanking all quarter. I'm watching their reservation through the restaurant system, table for 3:30 p.m. And sure enough, at 8:15, I see Brian order a bottle of wine. Not just any wine, a $250 bottle of Caymus Cabernet on a Tuesday night for a business dinner. I took a sip of my coffee and waited. You have to understand, Brian's whole identity was built around looking successful. The guy made maybe $75,000 a year before taxes, but he lived like he was pulling down $500,000. Always wearing these expensive suits, driving that leased BMW, taking clients to fancy restaurants. All of it funded by me, though he had no clue. So there he is at the Capitol Grill, probably bragging to Calvin Reed about his business acumen and his investment portfolio. Dorothy's sitting there in a dress that cost more than most people's monthly rent, nodding along like she's some kind of socialite. You have to understand, Calvin, I imagine Brian saying, voice loud enough for the whole restaurant to hear. I'm not just about closing deals. I'm about building relationships. I've bootstrapped my entire lifestyle through smart financial planning. No debt, no dependencies, just pure success. Dorothy would be playing her part too, talking about their beautiful home and their bright future together. Meanwhile, Calvin Reed, who actually knows what real money looks like, is probably sitting there thinking something doesn't add up. Then comes the moment I'd been waiting for. The check arrives. Brian doesn't even look at the total. Why would he? He's got that black titanium credit card, the one connected to my dividend account. He slaps it down on the leather folder with this flourish like he's doing everyone a favor. The waiter takes it away. Standard procedure. Should be back in 2 minutes with the receipt and a smile. Except he's not back in 2 minutes, or 3, or 5. Finally, the waiter comes back, and I can practically see the conversation from here, except the waiter's not carrying a receipt. He's carrying Brian's card between 2 fingers like it's contaminated. I apologize, sir, the waiter says, probably trying to keep his voice down. The card was declined. Brian laughs. Of course he laughs. That's impossible. There must be some mistake with your machine. Run it again. I ran it 3 times, sir. The issuer has placed a hard lock on the account. Code DO1 minus insufficient funds. That's when Brian's face changes. I wish I could have seen it in person. He starts fumbling around for another card, hands shaking just a little. Pulls out his backup, a platinum Visa that's also connected to my accounts. Try this one, he says, but his voice isn't as confident anymore. The waiter comes back faster this time. Decline, sir. Now the silence at their table is getting uncomfortable. Calvin Reed is checking his watch, probably thinking about how to get out of there gracefully. Dorothy's looking confused, maybe a little scared. And Brian's starting to sweat. There must be some kind of fraud alert, Brian says. Loud enough that other diners are starting to notice. I'll call the bank. This is ridiculous. But Calvin Reed has seen enough. He stands up, adjusts his jacket, and I can imagine exactly what he's thinking. If this guy can't even pay for dinner, why would I trust him with my business? Brian, Reed says, pulling out his own wallet, I'll take care of this. But I think we should continue our conversation another time. He throws down his American Express black card, a real one minused, and walks out. Just like that, Brian's big deal evaporates. The ride home must have been something. 2 people sitting in a BMW that's about to be repossessed, trying to figure out what the hell just happened. Brian's probably calling his bank, getting transferred from department to department, each person telling him the same thing. The primary account holder has terminated all authorized user privileges. By the time they pull into their driveway, the house is dark. Not mood lighting dark, completely dark, because I'd also had the electricity cut off that afternoon. When they try the garage door opener, nothing happens. When they flip the light switches, nothing. When Brian turns on the tap to splash cold water on his face, not a drop comes out. That's when it starts sinking in. This isn't some computer glitch or banking error. This is systematic, this is intentional. And somewhere in the back of Brian's mind, a little voice is starting to whisper a question he really doesn't want to answer. What if that useless old man wasn't so useless after all? 3 days later, Brian was desperate enough to do something really stupid. He'd figured out from old bank statements that I had some connection to an apartment building on the south side of town. So what does he do? Drives over there in his BMW, the one that's about to be repossessed, and starts pounding on doors, demanding to know where I was. The building manager, Mrs. Washington, comes out to see what all the commotion's about. She's this no-nonsense lady who's been running the place for me for about 15 years. Takes one look at Brian in his wrinkled suit, acting all entitled and aggressive, and she starts laughing. Honey, she tells him, Mr. Hoffman doesn't live here. Mr. Hoffman owns this building. He owns this whole block. Hasn't lived in an apartment since the 1980s. You should have seen Brian's face. The guy just stands there on the sidewalk staring up at this 40-unit building, trying to process what she just told him. His brain's working overtime, trying to make sense of it all. If I owned real estate, if I had been playing some kind of long game, then everything he thought he knew about his life was wrong. But Brian's not the brightest bulb. You know, even with all the evidence piling up, he's still convinced there's some logical explanation. Maybe I work there as the maintenance guy. Maybe I'm the superintendent. Anything except the obvious truth. Meanwhile, I'm putting the finishing touches on my master plan. See, that weekend was the annual Atlanta Business Council Charity Gala. Big event, all the city's movers and shakers, mayor, governor, business leaders. Tickets start at $5,000 a plate. And wouldn't you know it, Brian had scraped together enough money by pawning Dorothy's jewelry. Turns out to buy 2 tickets. The guy was desperate to network to find some last-minute miracle that would save his sinking ship. The event was at the St. Regis downtown. Fancy ballroom, crystal chandeliers, the whole 9 yards. Brian and Dorothy show up in their best clothes, trying to look like they belong with Atlanta's elite. Problem is, their best clothes are looking a little worn around the edges. Now, Dorothy's dress has a small stain she couldn't get out. Brian's shoes need a polish. They get seated at table 87 way in the back near the kitchen doors. Not exactly prime real estate, but Brian paid scalper prices just to get in the door. I'm watching all this from table 1, right up front, center stage. I'm wearing a tuxedo that costs more than Brian's monthly salary, sitting next to the governor and the mayor like it's just another Tuesday night. The master of ceremonies takes the podium around 9 p.m. It's Channel 5's main anchor, guy everyone in Atlanta knows. Ladies and gentlemen, he begins. Tonight we celebrate the spirit of giving that makes our city great, but we're also here to solve a 40-year mystery. I can see Brian from where I'm sitting, maybe 100 feet away. He's trying to glad hand some businessman at the next table, probably pitching his services. Has no idea what's about to hit him. For 4 decades, the MC continues. There's been a silent force behind Atlanta's growth. A man who built hospitals, funded schools, reshaped our skyline. He started with nothing but a toolbox and a dream, built an empire on hard work and humility. Now Brian's paying attention. Something about this introduction is ringing bells in his head, but he can't quite put his finger on it. Tonight, he's agreed to step forward and lead us into a new era of philanthropy. Please join me in welcoming the founder and chairman of Hoffman Enterprises, Mr. Victor Hoffman. The name hits that ballroom like a thunderclap. 500 people applause, but Brian goes dead silent. I can see him from the stage, standing there with his mouth hanging open like he's seen a ghost, because he's finally putting it all together. Hoffman Enterprises, the biggest real estate development company in Georgia. The company that built half the skyscrapers downtown, owns shopping centers across 3 states, employs 2,000 people. And the chairman, the guy they've been reading about in the business papers for decades, but never seen, is me, the useless old man they kicked out of their house. I walk up to that podium, adjusting my cufflinks, and I look directly at Brian. Let him see my face clearly for the first time. Let him understand exactly who he'd been ordering around like a servant. Thank you, I say into the microphone. Before I talk about our foundation's future, I want to share a story about family. Brian tries to move toward the stage, probably thinking he can somehow spin this to his advantage, but security stops him. I'd made sure of that. Recently, I continue. I had the misfortune of living with people who believed respect could be demanded rather than earned, who thought kindness was weakness and gratitude was optional. The crowd is dead silent now. This isn't the usual charity speech. These people took a man they believed was poor and helpless, and they decided to teach him his place. They kicked his chair. They threw his food on the floor. They gave him an ultimatum: serve us or leave. I pull out a piece of paper from my jacket. What they didn't know was that this man owned the house they lived in, the cars they drove, and the company where one of them works. Brian's trying to shout something, but his voice is lost in the murmur of the crowd. I hold up the paper. Effective immediately, Hoffman Enterprises is terminating the lease agreement with Bradley Sales Group. Mr. Brian Bradley's employment has been terminated for cause. The house at 1247 Peachtree Hills Drive has been reclaimed due to breach of the family trust agreement. Security escorts Brian and Dorothy out while they're screaming about how this is all a misunderstanding, how they're family, how they're sorry. But it's too late for sorry. 6 months later, I get a plain envelope in the mail. Inside is a handmade card with a drawing of a bowl of oatmeal and a cashier's check for $50. Dear Dad, Dorothy wrote, "This is the first money I saved after paying off my debts. It took me 6 months working at Murphy's Diner. I have a small apartment now. I grow tomatoes on the balcony. This $50 isn't much, but it's mine. It's honest. I'd like to invite you to breakfast. I make good oatmeal now. Love, Dorothy." I held that check for a long time. $50, worth more than every million I'd ever made. Sometimes you have to lose everything to find out who you really are. And sometimes the people who love you have to let you fall so you can learn to stand. "Clear my calendar tomorrow, Lawrence," I told my assistant. "I have a breakfast date with my daughter." True wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in the respect you earn and the character you build when nobody's watching. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give someone you love is letting them hit rock bottom, because that's the only place they can start building themselves back up.